Can I ask you how beneficial has this tour been in terms of trying to find out things about players up close and personal in the last match tomorrow?
It's been great for us. It's been great for us to find out other players. I suppose we're used to working with, the 40 or the 42 international players that play in the Six Nations or play in the autumn internationals. We probably had a little bit of a wider group last summer for the Japan and USA games. So it's been brilliant for us to get to know the layer below that. We watch them playing a lot, but we don't get to see them training, how they prepare, and how they help others prepare for a game. So from that point of view, it's been brilliant, and we've been, I suppose, blown away by the standard, by the appetite, by the work rate of the players. It's very comforting that when you go down the layers, that there's these guys that are being really well coached in their academies, really well coached in their provinces. They're very smart rugby players. They're very motivated. They're able to figure things out. And we've only had a small period of time here. We needed players that were smart, that could figure things out quickly for themselves, and it's been brilliant.
Can I ask you just about the two games that have been played so far? Is it hard as a coach to be overcritical, for want of a better phrase, as to how those games have gone, given the fact that you're trying to give so many people a chance to play against opposition that we don't really know a whole heap about before they actually take the pitch?
Not really, no. It's the Irish team. We're trying to prepare them for international rugby, and they want to know. They want to know what the standard is. They want to know what 100% looks like, and they're very, very open to that. Luckily for us, that for every image we get of something that we wouldn't be happy with, we're probably getting 5 that we would be happy with. So the message can be quite positive, and these guys get it. I think a big strength of Irish rugby players is they're smart. They're able to pick things up quickly. They're able to change a habit quickly. They're able to change a behaviour real quickly, and that's been one of the most comforting things for us, because international rugby isn't like club rugby. Most of the time, if you're lucky, you get a kind of a 12-day window or a 10-day window into a big international game. You need to have clarity on what the plan is, and then you need players that can take that on pretty quickly and deliver it. So that challenge has been brilliant for these guys, because most of them are used to doing a big pre-season with their clubs where they're very clear on what the plan is by the time game 1 comes around, or by the time game 10 comes around, whereas international rugby isn't like that at all. You have to be able to figure it out quickly and pick it up quickly, and that's been very pleasing from our point of view.
So in essence, are you saying you're happy with the way they've adapted and sort of learned on the job, if you understand, in terms of in-match situations in the 2 games so far?
Yeah, 100%. And one of the things is being able to take a picture and make a decision based on that picture. And sometimes the more different coaches you have that teach you to look at the picture differently, or different players that from different provinces that might look at the picture differently, that's all, I suppose, broadening your knowledge and broadening your view of the game, because the best decision makers see the picture and they make a decision instinctively, and the more times they're in that position, the better they'll be at it. And we've been able to put them in those positions quite a lot in recent weeks, and they've had to look at it maybe a little bit differently to what they do in their provinces, and I think that'll be good for their learning.
And just in terms of tomorrow's game and the team selected, I mean, there's a good bit of continuity there. People who played alongside each other in 1 or 2 of the other matches. And your impressions of the Cheetahs, it does appear as if every game you played, the opposition has been a bit of a step up.
Yeah, Cheetahs are a very strong side. They probably one of the best lineouts in the Curry Cup. The best mauling team in the Curry Cup. They scored 11 tries, I think, in the Curry Cup. And Sekitete, their second row, runs a really good operation. It's very similar to the South African national team in terms of how he goes about his business. You've Mahoje, you've Franz Steyn, Ruan Pinar. You've a lot of experience there and a lot of size. We saw him playing against the Bulls after our Griquas game. They ran the Bulls in, which featured Bismarck Duplessis. They ran them in for a maul try very early in the game. So they're a big side. They're very experienced. They don't have split resources between URC and the likes of that. So they're a strong side, and they'll be a brilliant challenge for our guys.
Just in terms of the kind of systems and structures you'd have around the set piece and the line out with Ireland, given the short time, the amount of time you've had to work with this group, have you had to dilute a lot of information, or how have you found that challenge as coaches?
No, not at all. Not at all. As I said, these guys are really well coached in their provinces and their academies. We'd probably have a different way of looking at things, but nothing that they haven't struggled to adapt to. We've kept it pretty simple, but it doesn't matter what level of game we're playing, we're always trying to keep things as simple as possible for the players, because if it's simple, you've a good chance of executing it well, and you've a good chance of executing it with a little bit of physicality. So there's been no problems from that regard. Set piece wise, these guys have a really good base, and it's been good from it. We were disappointed the other day against the Pumas. We conceded a penalty on our 22. They kicked to the corner, we conceded a try, but there was big learning for me in that, in terms of how I coach, and probably big learnings for the players as well, in terms of how they deal with some of the issues we had to face, and that's the reason we're here.
And can I just ask you about your two second rows starting tomorrow with Joe McCarthy and Tomah Hearn? A lot of people are excited about their potential and even just their athletic profile for their age. Can you just talk about the two of those guys and what you've seen from them over the last few weeks?
Yeah, the two of them have been excellent. Joe has obviously been in with us. He was down in New Zealand with us, and he played in the two Maori games. Did some really good things in both games, and is still on a learning curve, But it's been brilliant to have him in with us. Excellent profile, very curious guy, wants to learn. Getting excellent coaching in his province, and then comes here and gets to mix it with some other guys from other provinces who look at things differently, gets to mix it with John Fogarty and myself and Cathy and Simon, who might have a different view on things as well. So as I said, it's all broadening his experience and should improve his instincts. Same for Tomah Hearn. Tomah Hearn has played a lot of rugby with Munster, and been exposed to very good players, very good coaching down there, certainly from a set piece point of view, and he's done really well for us. He's capable of creating big moments in games with his athleticism. But it's been like that all across the board. With Brian Deeney and Cormac Chukwu started the other day. They played really well for us, and we just don't have many. Well, back in my time, we hadn't many guys with these kind of athletic profiles, so it's brilliant to see them coming through. It's brilliant to see them getting an opportunity to play here and broaden their view of the game, and hopefully that broadening, puts them in a better position to challenge for starting places back in their provinces.